So in my last video that I made about using your sparks of ingenuity in crafting, I said there was no wrong choice when choosing what item to craft. Well, I kind of take that back. There is, and it's this item. So there seems to be a common misconception or misunderstanding going around about the Flaring Cowl. It's either being extremely overvalued due to an assumption on how it works with our talents, or you watched someone else make it, and instead of doing your own research, you followed them like a goat off the edge of a cliff. While yes, it is crucial for some classes, it's just not for us at all. We don't need it. So the inaccurate assumption is this. There's a ring that drops from the Vault of the Incarnates off the first boss, Erenog, called Seal of Diurna's Chosen, which has a proc on it that ignites your enemies when you deal fire damage. So the obvious idea is to craft this Flaring Cowl, which also has a fire proc on it, to work synergistically with the ring. It makes sense, right? While this is definitely what other classes might need to do to fully take advantage of the ring, we simply just don't need it. So right off the bat, we have something like Immolation Aura. Well, not being quite enough because it does have some downtime in between the buff and the ability coming off cooldown, it's still way more than some classes have. Along with that, we also have things like Sigil of Flame and Fell Devastation, but here's the kicker that might blow your minds. Chaos damage is fire damage. Technically, chaos damage is all schools of magic. So have you ever encountered those sealed treasure chests out in the Dragon Isles that say something like frost damage could open this? And for some reason, all you had to do was chaos strike it once, and it magically opened up. Yes, these are a thing. I only started finding them in the past week or so they might be locked behind a specific renown level or something. But anyway, getting back to the topic, what does this mean for us? It essentially means that the majority of our abilities deal fire damage, and have the capability to proc the Diurna ring, especially with any means necessary talented. But even without the talent, Fellblade, Fell Eruption, Chaos Strike, Immolation Aura, Sigil of Flame, Soul Rend, Blade Dance with First Blood, Eye Beam, Chaos Nova, Essence Break, Glaive Tempest, Fell Barrage if you're crazy enough to take it, and even Fell Rush all deal either chaos damage or straight up fire damage and can proc the ring. Now, if you add any means necessary into the mix, then you have your auto attacks with Demon Blades and even the Hunt. So essentially every ability we have has the possibility to proc the ring. Hey, by the way, real quick, if you guys enjoy this content and you're looking for a way to support me, Patreon is the best place for you to do that. I just started a new sort of initiative over on Patreon where I'm going to be posting kill videos from our raid. I don't stream raid, I haven't been this tier, so if you're looking to get an insight into how I play certain bosses, or you just want some tips and tricks, you want to see how I do it, you can see all this on the Patreon. Also, you get access to videos much earlier than what you would get them on YouTube. I posted this one that you're watching now over on Patreon about a week ago, so if you want to support me, this is the best place you can do that. There's a lot of awesome features you get. You'll get a special role and badge in the Discord. If you sign up to one of the other tiers, you get a Illidan coffee mug. There's so many cool things. If you guys want to support me, this is the way to do it. I'll put a link down in the description. Now, what I expect is probably happening is players are watching my previous video explaining how to sim the best piece of crafted gear for your character. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a card up in the top right corner. And instead of using their import string, they're just using their server name and their character name. Now, when you run Droptimizer this way, it completely disregards the amount of embellishments you already have on your characters. And remember, you can only have 2 in total. For example, here you can see it saying that the Flaring Cowl would be an upgrade, but the cowl itself counts as an embellishment. So I already have the Lariat, which is 1, and blue silken lining on my belt. So in game, if I actually wanted to wear this, I would have to take blue silken lining off my belt. I would also be losing my tier helm, which means I'd have to wear the tier chest, which has the worst combination of stats out of all the pieces. The chest is a slot that we could potentially craft with our next spark, and that would give amazing stats in combination with other tier pieces, and it would guarantee getting one of our most important pieces in terms of raw agility and secondary stats at a mythic level. So this is Jedith from the future. I was editing this video and I thought, hey, why don't I just show them how I'm going to sim myself to find out what I should be crafting this coming Tuesday. So as you can see, I have my SimC information pasted in here. We're going to scroll down, make sure we have Professions Epic selected, 418 because I know I'm able to upgrade it that high. We're going to put Crit Mastery on it, and the preferred gems, I'm going with High Crit, Low Mastery to get a Mastery proc. Now, this isn't necessarily what you should do. You should always sim yourself to see what kind of proc you want to be getting from your lariat. Just with my setup and my gear, this is what it's calculating to be the best. This likely won't be the best for you. If you have, just a few gems, you're more than likely going to want the crit proc. But if you have a lot of gems, getting the heavy crit as the main stat on each gem is probably going to add up to more than what the proc might be. But again, I can't tell you what to do. This is something you have to sim and find out for yourself. So if we scroll down, we can see this time, because we are using the import string, it's canceling out things that we can't use. Either we already have it crafted or it's another embellishment. So it's going to sim all of these different items. And we kind of already have an idea of, the few items that are going to be good. We know like some of these other ones just aren't even going to be considered, but the sim is going to find that out for us anyways. So we're going to scroll down. We're just going to do a patchwork sim, 1 boss, 5 minutes. Make sure you use the nightly sim C version. And yeah, that's it. Okay, let's run the Droptimizer. And as you might have guessed, the crafted chest is simming to be the best upgrade for me at the moment. It's a 1.5% DPS increase, which calculates out to be 1,195 extra DPS. And as I said in my last video, you want to ignore the priority list. This is not something you need to look at for crafting gear. This is more just for dungeons and raid bosses. It tells you what boss or what dungeon you should be focusing on to have the highest chance of getting loot. But because we can target these items specifically, we do not need to look at this list. So completely ignore this. Don't look at this row. What you want to be looking at is either the best drop DPS, whichever one is showing you the highest, and the highest percentage. So the chest is going to be the best for me. It's going to increase my DPS by that amount. Sorry, it's going to increase my sim by that amount. Who knows how that's going to translate into game, right? So chest is what I'm going to be making. The other options that I have are making boots at 418. That works out to be a 0.6% increase. And this doesn't surprise me because my boots are pretty low at the moment. They're 405, but I am hoping to get the boots from Halls of Valor that have better and higher stat budgets on them. So that's kind of my target right now. And the rest just, shouldn't really be considered. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing this coming Tuesday, crafting myself a Lifebound chest at 418. That will replace my tier chest. So now I can just use 4 pieces to get my 4-piece bonus, and we'll be ready to go. So moral of the story is, you do not need to make the Flaring Cowl. We do not need it to proc the Diurna ring. It's not necessary. Literally all of our abilities have the potential to proc that ring. We don't need 1 extra proc. It's not going to do anything for us. We're good. We don't need it. So don't craft it. Use your sparks wisely. Make sure you sim, run Droptimizer, and you'll be all right. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.